This is an oral history interview with Mr. Willie Brandon. We're at his home in Murfreesboro, Tennessee on April 22nd, 2009. My name is Jim Williams from MTSU, the Albert Gore Research Center, and this interview is being conducted for Preserve the Area's Rural Qualities, a group that's interested in the Readyville area. Okay? So, Mr. Brandon, can you tell me when and where you were born?
I was born in 1906, June the 12th, in the Readyville area. I have to put it like that.
In the Readyville area?
Uh-huh.
How close, or where, in relation to the mill, for instance, was your family's
I was
house?
buried, I was born about a mile and a half from the mill.
What direction?
North.
If I wanted to find where your home place was, how would I get there?
It'd be north.
Mm-hmm. And what were your parents' names?
My father's name was Charles Brandon,
And your mother?
Jimmy Brandon.
Your mother's name is Jimmy?
Uh-huh. Had one sister, Lizzie Brandon. That was the family.
Yeah. How would you describe your father?
My father was an ambitious man that couldn't read or even write. My mother, they chosen her to be a school teacher in those days. And in those days, a girl didn't have to go no further than 8th grade to be a teacher. So they chosen her in that community to be a teacher, and she married my father, and he couldn't read and write.
Did he ever learn to read and write?
She tried. She got him where he could print part of his name. Yeah. And he got so fast, she just quit bothering him. But you couldn't beat him out of a dime.
What do you mean by that?
Hmm?
What do you mean by that?
He'd count on his fingers. He'd count $1,000 as quick as you could. Double back and do this, that. He'd have it.
So.
And finally she told him, she says, Charles, I can't learn you nothing, but I'm doing all right. So I guess I got about 7. And I asked her one day, I said, Mama, why did you marry my daddy and he can't read and write? She says, I loved him. She says, I loved it. And you know what? In those days, if you made 40 or 50 cents a day, you had a wonderful job. And he'd do his field work and get through with it quicker than the rest of them would be sitting on his porch, and somebody would come by and ask him, say, Charles, do you want to work today? Yeah. Well, he'd go and make that other 35 or 40 cents. He'd done his work at home. He went to the bank and put $1 in the Readyville bank and got him a checkbook. And he'd walk around most of the rest of the guys with his checkbook in his pocket. And they made fun of him. Said, look yonder. He don't know he's got that in his pocket. He can't read and write nothing. Said, got a checkbook in his pocket. And he saved like that. He'd put a nickel in the bag just as big as you'd put 500.
Is that what you mean by ambitious?
Yeah. I'll tell you why he's ambitious. He did that for years. And when the old man died, he had money. right here in this bank of place. But the land sitting there where the bank, they tore down 2 or 3 banks uptown. But when he died, he had money. And before he died at 68. He lived 1 block from here on the next street over. He'd get up every morning, and my mother had to bake biscuits, homemade things, and eat his breakfast and get on his bicycle and ride to town and sit there till 12 o'clock. And people would ask him, why did he go to town so often? And finally he told me he come up there every day to watch his money. His money was over in the bank. And he parked behind Goldstein's store there. They gave him a parking place in there. He'd go to town every day and eat and watch his money. At 12 o'clock, he's back on Vine Street, and she had to have his dinner ready. And he'd eat and go to sleep and go back up there to closing time. He did that every day, but when he died,
That was later on in life.
he died. She had, and they learned me a lesson. She had what little she had in her name, Jimmy Brandon. He had his little money in his name, Charles Brandon. I had to wait 1 year.
It went through the probate and all.
I couldn't touch neither one of their money for 1 year. So I said, if I do that, I'll have it while I ain't got nothing but a $5 day. She go up in the morning and get every bit of it.
So what year was your father born?
Don't ask me. He's 80. My mother was born in 81. Wait a minute. And she said she was, I believe, 6 years. Which one was older? She was born in 81. I know when she was born. And he was born in, no, in the 80s, some back in there somewhere. I don't know which one was the oldest.
Did you say he died in 1968 or he was 68 years old?
60,
Which?
he died in the 68, 69, no, in that.
So he was in his 80s?
Oh,
80,
yeah.
close to 90 when he died?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Oh,
Where are they buried?
Readyville.
Is there a cemetery?
Yeah, there's a cemetery out there. A mile and a half from the ice plant. That's where I'm going to be buried too.
Why were they living in Readyville?
Huh?
Why did they settle in Readyville?
It was reared up in that area.
So they were both born?
Yeah, in that area, all of them. And back in those days, there wasn't no way for you to get out of the area unless you, where you going? You didn't have no money. You didn't have no transportation. You didn't have no choice. You stayed away. Back in those days, you could rip around from place to place. You didn't have no, where you going in?
So did your mother have brothers and sisters?
She had one sister.
Did she live close by?
Uh-huh. Her name was Lovie.
How do you spell that?
Lovie.
Oh, okay.
My mother had a sister.
So you had an Aunt Lovey.
Hmm?
You had an Aunt Lovey.
Uh-huh. Just one.
What was your mother's maiden name?
Bro.
Okay. And what was your mother like?
She was a nice talking person and an awful wonderful person. She was. I had a wonderful mother.
Well educated?
Yeah. In that day. Because it's all running around. You say, you know what? Jimmy Brown's got a school and it's paying $10 a month. What? What's she gonna do with all that money? I come from that day. I paid about $12 a month for she's kidding.
So where was that school that she worked at?
It was in the same area up there. It was about 1.5 miles from Readyville, from the center part of Readyville, back in the woods.
And was that a school only for blacks?
Only for blacks, and he didn't go on but 3 months out of a year.
Which 3 months? The winter months?
To get out to do the farm work up before it got cold. Pick the cotton and stuff and get it all in before it got cold. You went to school 3 months. And you had to walk, some of them. Now me and my sister had to walk about 1.5 miles. Across fields. You'd have to get permission from the people that owned it. Could you go through? They had bulls, rattlesnakes. Back in those days, this country was full of wild varmints. Rattlesnake, you see him sitting up at his head that wide, digging his tongue at you. Don't bother me and I won't bother you. You go walk around him. So I've come a long way. I've seen it. I've been through it. Head that wide. He bites you, drop dead before you. But if you didn't bother him, he wouldn't bother you.
Did Lovey get married?
Yeah.
Did she marry a local fella?
She married my daddy's first cousin, so they was both Brandons.
Okay. And they lived in Readyville also?
Yep.
All their lives?
All their life.
Okay. What did they do for, well, her husband's name was?
His name was Lawyer Brandon.
Lawyer?
Uh-huh.
And what did Lawyer and Lovey do for a living?
Farm work. Wasn't necessarily have to do with farm work.
What did you all farm when you were growing up?
For different people that live across the area, we farm for Barker. The Barkers owned 5, 6, 7, say 800 acres in that area. Most of them, all those worked for the Barkers. And the years.
So, were there any black families that owned their land in Readyville?
Huh?
Were there any black families that owned land, or were they all sharecroppers?
All sharecroppers at that time. In the beginning, some of them didn't own nothing.
Did that change eventually?
Didn't have nothing.
Did,
The man that owned the property would build him a house back on his land somewhere where they could come to and fro back down to the main house and take care of stuff. In the beginning back there. We had a post office there. There was a post office in Readyville. Finally. In the beginning there was.
so did you say your family worked about 300 or 400 acres?
Yeah, on a B.H. Carter owned 3 or 4 acres. He was the president of the bank here in Murfreesboro. I worked up for Carter.
What was your house like that you were born in?
Well, some of them, you could see the sky through. Some of them had a pretty good top. Nothing, didn't have nothing but tin.
Tin roof?
Tin, all of them.
And walls?
Whatever you could find to make the wall, if it's pasteboard or whatever. Well, we stayed warm.
How did you stay warm?
By using it. You can do a whole lot of things that you think you can't do. If you get out to push. Get out to push. They talk about the depressions. I've been through 3. And there's something else. But you've got to learn how to work with what you got. That's all you do. They have one now, you have one of y'all take poison keys there. Couldn't stand it. The young generation couldn't stand it.
Yeah,
You couldn't.
probably not.
Wake up in the morning and you go to the bank and the blinds is closed with a big sign and it closed. Go to the next day, closed. And what you had went with it, closed. You go crazy. I've been through those days. I had $84 in the state bank in Illinois, and she closed. They say, you better go down there, they're closing the bank. I say, what? I got that man to tell me they can't close on it, don't close on me.
So that was in the 1930s you're talking
Yeah.
about. The house that you grew up in, how big was it?
2 rooms.
2 rooms.
Yeah. I don't care if it's 40 of you.
Was there a
Just
separate bedroom and
Yeah, that's
living
it.
space?
Yeah. That's it.
Did everybody sleep in the same room?
Yeah.
You and your sister and parents?
Yeah.
Was your sister older or younger than you?
She's younger than me. 2 years difference.
Was her real name Lizzie, or is that just what you called her?
That was her real name.
Okay. How did you heat your house?
With logs. They built a good area where you could frame it up with rock, stone, with a chimney,
Okay.
where she wouldn't catch a fire. You could roll that log in and put some little ones in front of it and get that big one started to burn. She'd burn out there too. It wasn't no problem to get heat. You just roll them in the house just like you do.
Where'd the logs come from?
Out there, all you had to do is step out the door. You'd be sitting, your house was round logs, trees. All you had to do is step out the door with an axe and go to cut.
Somebody had to cut them down.
Huh?
Someone had to cut them down.
Yeah, you'd cut them down.
So did your mother cook over that fire, or did she have a
Yeah,
stove?
you take a wire and hang it up in that, put a brace across in that top of that chimney, a big steel pot that big, little hang down in there, and she'd cook some of the best potatoes and stuff, and big steel top on it. Good food in there, man. Good. I wish I had some of it now.
Did you grow all your food, or did you
Yeah.
buy things as well?
Rolled it all. And somebody dig a hole and make a cellar with steps to go down in it. And you can believe it or not, they'd be raising turnip greens, cabbage, and every other thing down in that cellar. When a storm come, we went in the cellar, pulled the top down, wind blowing out here, and we under the ground.
So was this root cellar and a storm cellar?
Uh-huh.
Did you have a happy childhood?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
What did you do to make fun?
Well, the boys would get a stick, about as long as that, tie a rag on the top of it, put it between his legs, get him another switch, and go boogity, 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 ride the horse. See which one could beat each other riding the horse on a stick.
So you must have had hogs.
We'd get a few marbles. We shoot marbles. We pitch horseshoes. Yeah, we had a good time. Had just as good a time in that days as the children was having in the modern day. It was just doing different things.
Where'd you get your clothes?
Mama made most of them. Mama make you sock. She had a knitting a big needle like that with some white thread. And when she wasn't busy, she'd look down at your feet and knit you a pair of socks.
And she sewed by hand, or did she have a machine?
Didn't know what a machine was. She mentioned that I guess I done got about 12 in. A salesman came through in a buggy selling little sewing machine. And he drove up, and my daddy was somewhere, and me and my sister was peeping at him. And he said, "Can I come in?" She told him, yeah. He come in the yard and showed her the machine. We'd never seen one before. She says, "Well, I'd like to have one, but my husband's not here." About that time, he come home. And she says, "Charles, this man's got a machine, and he said he'd let us have it, and he could come back through here next summer or something and get to pay." He looked at it. He said, "Jimmy, that's a nice one, but we can't afford it today." That's the end of that. She said, "Well, my husband said we couldn't." Back in them days, women did what their husband said. He said, "No, there was no mouth stuck out or nothing." That was the end of it.
And there was no credit card to pull out to pay for it.
When he said no, that is it. Didn't hear no more about that.
You talked about riding on the hogs, and did you horse?
Stick horse.
Oh, a stick horse. Oh,
Yeah.
I misunderstood.
Stick horse.
Okay. Sorry about that. But did you raise animals, or did you have pets?
Yeah, I had a dog. I had a big brown dog about that big. He'd watch after you. He'd keep things away from you. He was a smart dog. Most everybody had a good dog. But they croppers didn't want you to have nothing. You could have a few chickens. But otherwise, other animals, they stayed down to the house.
So if you only had chickens, did you have any meat to eat?
Yeah, we'd raise meat. We'd kill hogs, and cure them. That's all we had. The folks would think about ham. That's all we had was a ham in the shoulders and stuff, because it's cured. It'd preserve it and hold all the air. We'd get tired of eating that. And every now and then somebody in the community would kill a billy goat or calf. And all of them shared together to have fresh meat, This man over here killed one this week, and he'd share it, because you didn't have no refrigerating outfit. And all of them would share it between each other, like that.
Did you help with the butchering?
Uh-uh.
No?
Oh. That would not, I can't.
Did your mother make sausage or anything like that?
Yeah. She could make sausage, and they'd keep it, make sausage.
What was she especially good at cooking?
Well, the biggest thing that she liked to make was a potato pie. She could make some of the sweet potato pies. She used to, I don't know, slice those potatoes and cook them or something over, and have that juice and that top on them. It'd be good.
Did you know your father's parents? Your grandparents on your father's?
I know my granddaddy on my father's side.
Okay.
I saw him once.
Saw him once?
One time in my life. I was 15 years old, and he came from, I don't know why, but he didn't stay in here but about 2 days. I saw my grandfather on my daddy's side one time. I think I was about 13 or 14 years old. But my grandmother on both sides was dead before I was born.
Okay. What was your grandfather Brandon's name?
His name was Bill Brown. That's what he said his name was.
Where did he live that you didn't see him?
I never did find out. I don't know why he did. He just come in here, and I asked my daddy where was he at. He said he's gone. So I don't know where he went.
And did you know your mother's father?
Oh, yeah, he had raised me. My mother's father. That's why I ain't got no sense.
No, that's not true.
My mama's dad had raised me. And finally, when they bought the place, they bought 32 acres of just rocks and sticks and stuff that nobody else didn't want. My daddy bought it. $600 for 30-some acres. And his down payment was a little mule colt. Well, $40. He put the mule down and we moved there. We stayed there about a year, and he told my mother that he's going to sell my granddaddy 19 acres of so he could build him a house there. And they did. And he built him a little, I just say it was a nice cold house. He built him a little house and moved in. And his house wasn't no further from my house than this over yonder. He lived by himself. He was 90-something then. He was just about as old as I am, man, but he was on his feet. And my brother would go down there and cook his breakfast, and he'd eat it home and he'd come on up there. And I'd get in the devil bed, and my mama would whoop me. He couldn't stand the switch because he was a slave. He'd been a slave. He'd tell us, says, by golly, quit beating him and talk to the boy. Says, I can't stand that switching. So one day she got after me and switching me. And he was sitting up under the tree. He said, come here. He said, see that line right there? I said, yeah. Well, he said, this over here belongs to Jim Burrow. I'm saying, this over here belongs to your mama. I said, now the next time she get after you, if you make it to this line and jump it, you free. I said, okay. I got into it again. He's still sitting up on the tree. Here she come catch me and whoop me. He didn't say a word. Got to the line, he said, hold it. I said, this over here belongs to Jim Burrow. She said, Pep, said, fall back, say he's home free. We sat there, I got hungry. Because he didn't have nothing in the house. She thought, I say, Pep. I said, I'm hungry. He said, I don't know what you would done to go up there. I said, after you put it rough, says, wait a minute. He got his stick. Let's go. I went behind him. Got to the door. He done this away from me. Stay back. He went in, he knew. Come out. He said, everything looks pretty quiet in there. You go on in there, be quiet. He told me, go on in there and be quiet. I'd go in there and sit down. He's in the bed and go to sleep. I stayed with him. I thought more of him than I did my mama or you, my dad. And when he died, it like him, and I'll tell you what he did. I was in Illinois. My aunt sent him to Chicago. When I went to Polk Street Station to get him, he was 112 years old, had his grip. He rode from here by himself at 112. I met him at the station. And when they got off the station, people looked at him like a Santa Claus. His beard hung here. White rolls of curly hair, no bald.
Wow.
He's dark brown skinned, and his hair and all just hung down here on his shoulders. Just, I carried him home. My daughter, that's his great-grandchild, she's in Illinois now. My daughter was 7. We'd go off, go to work, and leave him there to take care of her. He did. When I was the first thing to come home from work, and he was sitting on the porch like that. I said, "Pap, what are you doing?" He said, "I don't feel good. My old stomach's been growling and messing up all day." Well, I've been hearing that all my life. That stomach. I said, "Mama will be here in a minute. She'll give you something." My mama come. She said, "Pap, what's the problem?" "Oh, old stomach's bothering me again." She says, well, no, I'll be all right." I lived upstairs over my mother, apartment up over. I come in, started up the steps. He said, "Hold a minute. I'll go up there with you." I said, "For what?" He caught the balance and walked up the steps just like you would. I had a 3-room apartment. He went and looked this way in it. He said, "That's all right, let's go back downstairs." We got down halfway downstairs, and there's a bend. You had to bend and come back. He said, "Sit down." Hit me on this right leg. He said, "Sit down, I got something to tell you." I sat down. He said, "You know what? I've lived a long time. A long time." Well, say so. It's over. He took his hands like this. Just like that. He says, "I see 2 roads. One going up and one going down. Says, every now and then you see one going up." He said, "You be a good boy." He said, I made some friends here. And said, everybody at home loves me. But said, it's too late. I'm lost. Got up good, walked on down to my mother's apartment, and her bedroom faces the door. He went and laid down crossways on her bed and went. That's it. People has told me from that day till this day that I imagined. I got sense enough to know what was told me. That's what he left with me. He said, "You be a good boy." He says, "I'm lost."
What year was that?
33.
And you said he was about 115 when he died?
Yeah, up not older.
So he was born before 1820?
Yeah,
Wow.
and was active up to death. He was. Every tooth in his head. Eyesight was clear. So I got that mixed in there.
Did they bury him in Chicago?
No, he's back here home. I put a big stone in his out right at that Readyville No, he's here. The date of his birth is out there on that stone. I can't remember, but I can take you out there and let you see it. It's out there.
Is that a mixed cemetery, or was it just blacks and whites? Did they do that?
But not very no white back there when I was. It's all black.
Was there a white cemetery in town?
Yeah, but it wasn't close to this. But I'll tell you what they did do, and I praise them for it. They gave us another acre to extend our cemetery. That was nice. We done filled it up. They gave it, the man that owned the property from the cemetery gave us another acre. That was very nice.
Now, you said he was a slave.
Huh?
You said your grandfather was a slave.
He was sold up here on the courthouse.
What do you know about his life as a slave? Did he talk about it?
Yeah, he said he was sold up there right there. Well, she's working that on them back steps up there for $750, shipped to Virginia. It was freed in Virginia. And when he got free, the man that owned him was a brother. He said, Jim, I either got to pay you or you got to go. And Jim said he looked out there and the nibbles was free. He was out there cutting bushes and making harbors to live under. Said he looked at that and says, I don't want that. He went back to his owner, this slave owner, and asked him could he stay. He said, Jim, if I keep you, I'll have to pay you. He said, well, he said, yeah. And he stayed with his master 2 years for pay. I don't know how much to pay it in there. And got enough money to come back to Tennessee. He had cleared that up. He said, around that courthouse wasn't number just a wilderness. So they'd cut all day and rick. When it rained and dried, they'd burn those ricks, you know. He had cleared up, my granddad.
Do you know if he was born here?
Huh?
Was he born here?
Who?
Your grandfather?
I don't know. He don't know either. See, like back in those days, they go have an auction just like y'all sell houses. No. A woman got 5 babies. They slick them babies up, lay their hair down. Man come through and look at that and sell that baby for $4. There's no here for 6. Different folks getting them. See. You don't know who. And turn around and sell the mama. All the whole, never see a kid no more. Just like you're selling pigs out there.
Yeah. Did he talk about slave days much?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
What else do you remember?
He said he had some good slave masters. Said he was fortunate enough to have some good masters. But said if one got, they're going to have an auction somewhere. One looked a little puny. Said rub him up and slick him up the night before the sale and try to brew something in his belly to make him bruised up so they could sell it. Some harbor days, man. That's been here, though.
Yeah.
It's been here.
Do you know where he met your grandmother?
I don't know about the grandmother.
And you said you never met her.
No, I never met neither one.
Anything else about slave days that he talked about?
No, just about got it.
But he definitely didn't want the switch being on.
Hmm?
He definitely didn't want your mother using the switch on you, right?
Yeah.
What did he was a sharecropper as well
Uh-huh.
in Readyville
Yeah.
all his life?
Yeah.
except for-
Yeah. He's a sharecropper.
What did y'all mostly grow out there?
Potatoes and all types of vegetables and corn, cotton, and sugar cane. You know, make molasses and stuff. We grow them all. Practically all of them.
Was there a mill to put the cane through?
Yeah, yeah, they had homemade mills that ground that juice out of, and big tubs that cook it right down the field. Cook that juice, you know.
Was that for y'all to use, or did you sell it?
They'd sell it for their own use to it, and give it to friends and everything. Yeah, they'd have sugar cane patches.
When did you have to work in the fields growing up?
Oh yeah.
When did that start?
Oh yeah. Keep them horses going around, for one thing.
On the mill?
Oh.
Was there a store in Readyville?
Huh?
Oh, thank you. Was there a store in Readyville?
Yeah. Hollingsworth run it.
I think your mouth getting dry, isn't it?
Oh boy. Yeah, there was a store in Readyville.
What did you say the name was?
George Hollingsworth run it.
Osworth?
Uh-huh.
So it'd be Hosworth?
I don't know.
Okay, I can. Was that near the mill?
Uh-huh.
Did your family take your grain to the mill to get ground?
Yeah,
The flour?
everybody did. That's the only way they could get it done. Had to carry it to the mill.
What did you think of that big mill when you were a kid?
I'm scared of it.
I mean, symbolically.
He's trying to get it so it's operational. Gradually putting the pieces back in. I was up there a couple months.
What is this, homemade iced tea?
I don't know what you want. It's lemonade. It's good.
What is this, baby?
Lemonade.
Lemonade.
It's good.
I can tell you.
What was scary about the mill?
Everything, because you never had seen nothing before, you know. Them belts, you get to running and flapping and scare you to death.
Did they did the owners, do you remember any of the owners of the mill?
Ratback Fine, that wasn't his name. That was his nickname. I can't think of his name.
What was the nickname?
Called him Ratback Fine.
Ratback?
Ratback Fine. He created electricity over that river to run that stuff. He was a smart man.
So it was rat like the animal?
Yeah, I reckon.
Back?
Yeah. He created the electricity
And what was the,
to run that mill.
Redback fur. What'd you say? Redback fur? Redback what? What'd you say his nickname was?
Back there.
McFern.
Uh-huh.
Rat McFern?
That's what they called him. I don't know what his name was. But he created electricity to run that thing. Smart man.
Was your family religious?
Yeah. Had to go to church every Sunday.
Where was the church?
Beside the schoolhouse. You get something out the chimney and dampen that soot. Get out there and shine them shoes. To go to church. Now you got to have polish, all that. See, subtle farm, you know, up in the best shoe polish you ever put in your mouth.
What was the religion? What was the religion? What is Baptist?
Just like it is now.
Or primitive Baptist?
Yeah.
Or was it primitive feet washing?
Yeah,
Baptist?
yeah, that was standing just like it is
So
now.
it's Primitive Baptist, what it
I wondered why it
Why
stood, but it's been standing for years.
Yes,
Did the church have a
The
name?
Methodist churches was standing just like they're standing now.
Do you remember the name of that Primitive Baptist, that church that y'all went to then? And was a minister somebody that lived in the
Oh, I know what you're saying. I can't remember it. But it was all typed out just like they are now. I wondered how that happened.
What, like Baptist,
Yeah.
Methodist,
Oh.
and so forth?
Wonder how it happened.
Well, it's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new.
Were all the black folks Baptist or were
No,
some
no,
Methodist?
no. No.
So there was also Methodist?
My daddy was a Baptist and his cousin was a Methodist. There's different denominations back in that day.
Was the preacher somebody that lived in your community, or did they just come there every Sunday or every third Sunday and that kind of stuff?
Every third something like that, and he walked from Nashville.
Oh my God. He was real about his religion.
Walk from Nashville?
He had to start on Thursday.
How's he gonna get here?
That's right.
He walked from Nashville, and he'd have stopping places.
Oh yeah.
And when he got ready to go back home, he did the same thing. And come up here and preach.
Did you like church as a kid?
Yeah, you had to like it. They would get a switch on you.
When did you get baptized?
Oh, I was 30. I got baptized here in town. I was 32, 3 years old. I got baptized here.
It wasn't.
But back in them days, you went to church whether you wanted to go or not. They were religious.
How many times a week would you go?
Was I'd be on Sunday. And they'd have church meetings, you know, every now and then, and they'd go to the deacons and the mothers and things. But the churches, and haven't changed their way of doing too much from that day. They still do.
Now, what would happen when somebody in your family or community died?
Well, he died at home. See, they wasn't on these fancy hospitals. The neighbors and things were set up all night before he died. And when he died, they'd cover him up. And there wasn't no such thing as embalming, you know. And the next morning, they'd get the wagon and put it upside the door. And while they was doing that, the man was making the coffin and put you in the coffin. And the rest of them would cut across the field and meet the wagon at the cemetery and bury you and go on back home and go to work.
So the family would get the body ready. So there normally wasn't what we call a funeral service?
I know. I guess I was 9. A woman lived way back down in the woods behind us, and her name was Emma Haley. She had some children the age of me, but I can't remember the children's name. That's funny. And she died. And my daddy went back down there with the wagon and the mules and me and got her. And brought her out of the house and never did stop till they got to the cemetery. And they buried her. And stuck a rock up to her head. And everybody went on home and pulled off what they call their Sunday clothes and went to work. That was it.
So you did have Sunday clothes.
Well, they had some things they called Sunday clothes, but, you know, put them rings back on and go to work.
So there weren't really any undertakers in the community?
Scales was the first ones.
Did they service Readyville too? How many people came?
Scales come to Readyville everywhere. Scales is the first black undertaker in the area. And he had a rig with horses and pretty two black horses and a pretty rig. And he started burying people. That was about 12, 15 years past up. Negroes had just started having a little each barn, a little this and that. Well, one of them bought a little house, but it didn't have no money. But they believed in paying as they would back in that day. It'd be paid for. Scales would take the body and bury them. That's why he got his start. The Scales is put a million person in the ground.
So how many black people were there in the Readyville area when you were growing up?
A lot of them. A lot of black in that area.
More than in other parts of the county?
All parts of the county were. Woodbury was full of them. See, they dodged that. You couldn't get out. You just had to stay where you was at.
What was another name? You know, like the Brandons was in Readyville.
Yeah.
What's another? Like houses. They know everywhere.
Belton,
The what?
Belton, and all them little named little places.
No. What was like your name? Like your
Family
name,
name.
Brandon. Family name was Brandon when you was in Readyville.
Yeah.
What's another? Like a well-known name. Like in Murfreesboro now, you got houses and you got Johnsons and Jones. In Readyville, you know how the families are. What was another name, family name, besides Brandon and Brewers? You can think of anybody else?
Your neighbors, kinfolk?
I was trying to think. That's about it.
Yeah, so it was full of Brandons, huh?
Oh,
Brandon ruled the Readyville area.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of them at that time. There was a lot of problems at that time. They'd fill up a church.
So you had a lot of...
It died down, but my family used to be a heavy family.
So I didn't ask you how many brothers and sisters your father had.
9 or 10.
No wonder. Yeah,
9 or 10, and they all lived,
Yeah. No, they all dead.
but they all lived around Readyville?
Yeah. And they're all scattered. And there's a whole lot of them I've never seen now.
So could you name all those aunts and uncles if you had to?
Yeah.
Oh. You want some more?
I got now.
That was good.
Oh boy. Well, we've had an enjoyable evening.
Well, I can go on and on as you.
You might be.
Are you worn out?
Huh?
Have I worn you out?
No. No.
Well, can I ask a few more questions today?
Yeah.
Okay. I have 5 minutes. I'll find out. How would you describe relations between blacks and whites when you were growing up?
Well, I was always, I've been a fortunate person. I've never had too much problem with neither side. I haven't. I've had the folks that, I can't stand so-and-so, he's white. I can't stand so-and-so, he's black. But for the races, I've never had too much problem. Never had no trouble. Now, for years, the South was integrated. I was raised in the South. I knew the South. And I'd transport myself back as far as to Illinois. She's open, free. To everyone who wants to be, it is free. Well, I had sense enough to know when I hit Mason-Dixon line that I was in the South. I pick up my luggage before I was asked. I'd be up in the front, up under that train where I was supposed to be. And a lot of them would slow around and drag around. I obeyed the laws, either side. But I'll tell you what got me. I had just left the South and been in the North about 6 months and had a good job. Because I was making 50 cents a day here, and I was making $5.05 a day in Illinois. That was a good job. I walked out and caught a streetcar one morning, and a white lady come in with a fur coat on, and I'd never seen one before. I'd never seen a fur coat before. With perfumes and stuff on her. I'm sitting in the streetcar like this. I always tried to get on the side where the window where I could see my number on her. And it was cold, it was just about 0. And she said, the next person that you see don't do like that. I said, all right. It scared me to death. That was the first white person that I ever had sat down in my life with. She says, just sit down like the rest of the people. I said, yes. She said, don't say no. Yes to me. Say yes. I said, I wouldn't say it. When you've been trained, let me tell you something. When you've been trained from here up to here, and so-and-so is so-and-so, it's hard to get it out of you. It's that.
So as long as you follow the rules.
That's the reason why I tell you about training your children. If you start training him something right there, and he coming on up there, you're going to have to take a hammer and knock it out of his head. Because you put it in there. It's stamped. You can stamp it in his head.
Well, thank you for talking to me today.
Yeah,
I hope we can visit again.
Yeah, I will hope you come back in.
I'd love to.
I
I think there's a lot more I could talk to you
come
about.
back whenever you please.
Okay, thank you.